Alright guys, welcome to Flav Oriana's MMA show. I'm your host Flav Oriana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. Guys, first show of 2024. I know we're already 16 days in. It is crazy how quick already this month has been flying by, but wanted to talk to you about the recap of UFC Vegas 84, Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker 2, because the first fight happened in Abu Dhabi a couple months ago. And guys, did Magomed Ankalaev punch himself a ticket for a title shot for the UFC light heavyweight title? And going into this week, Ankalaev was a heavy favorite. I think he closed in at a minus 550 favorite, higher favorite than what he was in the first fight. And in that first fight, we were seeing Johnny Walker, attacking the legs, because you know what, Jan Blachowicz really exposed that game plan. And I thought, what's it called? I'm wondering why is it that they have Johnny Walker, this low. And man, Magomed Ankalaev just came in the main event of UFC Vegas 84 and just showed exactly why. Round 2, dropping Johnny Walker, and then to close out the fight, just lands like a swinging uppercut as he's on the floor, shattering his nose, and instantaneously Johnny Walker was not getting up from that. Good call on the ref. The ref really stepped in at the right time, because Magomed Ankalaev was just going to impose more damage onto Johnny Walker that Johnny Walker was not going to want to withstand. With this loss, I do feel that Johnny Walker is not going to get a title shot at any point, I feel like, in his UFC career, because if you remembered in 2019, especially in that MSG card that they had in November, Johnny Walker was one of those people that was being talked about as a potential title challenger and maybe a possible champion, because John Jones was still the champion at like heavyweight. And Johnny Walker, if he was going to beat Corey Anderson that night, there was going to be a strong possibility that he was going to catapult himself into a title shot. And what ended up happening is Corey Anderson comes in, knocks him out, and then he starts screaming into the camera. There's levels to this, and since that moment, I felt like Johnny Walker has not been the same. All right, yeah, he's gotten a couple of wins here and there, but he gets knocked out by Jamal Hill, gets knocked out by Corey Anderson, knocked out by Jamal Hill, loses to Magomed Ankalaev in their rematch. Although I feel like in that first fight, it should have never been a no contest. It should have been a disqualification. Trying to pull up his his Tapology right now, because I know he lost a couple of times too. A couple of times past that. Yeah, beat Anthony Smith, beat Paul Craig, no contest. So 2023 was decent. Like I said, loses to Jamal Hill in 2022. Loses to Thiago Santos in a very boring-ish fight that lasted all 5 rounds. That was a main event, a UFC Apex main event. Loses it to Nikita Krylov, beats Ryan Spann. Like I said, loses to Anderson, and he was on the verge of catapulting himself into like a title shot opportunity. If he didn't lose it to Corey Anderson, then I feel like he would have already fought for the title. But now that it's kind of like in that roller coaster, wins a couple of fights, loses, wins a couple of fights, loses. But when he loses big, and it's just not a good look. Ankalaev, in my opinion, he is the best. He's possibly, if not the best, light heavyweight in the world right now, regardless if Alex Pereira is the champion. That man imposes so many skills. I mean, he can wrestle, he can hurt you standing up, he can hurt you, standing at range. The man is very, very good, and I feel like when he mixes it up, when he puts all his tools inside of inside the octagon, I mean, there's no man that's stopping him. And that's why it raises me the question, did he punch himself a ticket? Because I know he's not in good standing with Dana White. I know Dana White hates that the December pay-per-view of last year when it was Bohovic versus Ankalaev, because they were supposed to fight originally, right? It was supposed to be a 3-round fight, but then with Glover Teixeira, or I think it was a year Prochazka ended up having that shoulder injury, and Glover did not want to fight on that card, and then having to change his whole game plan. Ankalaev and Bohovic ended up becoming a title fight, and man, I remember watching that fight live on my couch, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, this is not a fight that I would care to watch, because at one point I was dozing off too. So I understood what Dana White was talking about. I do feel like Ankalaev, the UFC might try to keep him, keep him away from getting a title shot. Maybe he might have to fight one more time. But I do feel that, Ankalaev, I feel like he's done enough. His lone loss, I believe, is to Paul Craig, if I'm not mistaken. Because Paul Craig, he defeated Jamal Hill. I believe that was it, right? I gotta double check that. Not me, Nikita. Let's see. Yep, Paul Craig. He loses by submission, of course, because Paul Craig is that type of person that he'll get his ass beat and then somehow get you like in some armbar or something like that, and make you tap out by submission. Ankalaev is the real deal. I just wonder when this guy's gonna get a title shot. I would favor him against Alex Pereira, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Pereira defeats him. Glover ended up putting a tweet out there saying that, nice knockout, we'll see you soon. And Glover is the one that's training Alex. I really do believe that, that fight, might be building up to something. Alex has that imposing, look onto him that when he's hitting you, he's not even letting you know that he's going to hit you. There's nothing that's going to set it up. He's just going to leg kick you to death, and that's one of the disadvantages with Ankalaev. He's a little bit heavy-footed on the front foot, and like I said, he was exposed on that with Jan Blachowicz. So I would really want to see that matchup. I don't know what they're going to do with Pereira. Pereira wants to be active, doesn't want to wait around for Jamal Hill to come back. Jamal Hill says that he should be ready by the spring, but I just feel like that might be too soon, because the Achilles may have not fully healed, and I don't want to get a watered down fight if Jamal Hill is not fully ready, and I think they should just grant the wishes of Alex Pereira, because Alex wanted to be active, and him waiting around for Jamal Hill is just probably bothering him inside. A couple of fights that happened on UFC Vegas 84, Waldo Cortes-Acosta, Acosta Cortez, or yeah, whatever, he too many names, versus Andrei Arlovski. Waldo ended up winning by decision. I know a lot of fans were not too pleased with the fact that he was styling on him and then making noises anytime Arlovski was trying to hit him, and then he was like grilling him and like mocking him after the bell sounded. I do feel that Waldo Cortes is not going to get a good favorable matchup after the stunt that he pulled off. Probably, I know it pissed off a lot of fans. I thought it was funny, but I could see a couple of matchmakers probably saying, you know what, we're gonna put you with somebody that can really style on you, but we'll see what happens. Jim Miller gets a win over Gabriel Benitez. We were supposed to get a fight of Manel Kape versus Mateus Nicolau, but Manel Kape ended up missing weight by like 3.5 pounds and wasn't able to healthily arrive inside the octagon. And I don't blame Nicolau for wanting to accept that fight, because I feel like if he would have lost one more time, then he's putting his career in jeopardy, fighting for the UFC promotion. Yeah, and then we had Josh Van. I feel like that kid's gonna be a stud. I mean, he's been the prelim curtain jerker for quite some time. I think they need to start bumping him up higher up the card. I feel like he could be a really good contender at flyweight for years to come. But yeah, guys. So that's gonna cover it all. Did Magomed Ankalaev deserve? Does he deserve a title shot for his next fight? And how long do you think he will be out waiting for a title shot? So then, guys, I am Flava Rihanna, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.